one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
Hey, right out. Got my niggas in the bag blowing white outs. We gon' bump this shit real deep into the night hours. Keep it 199, just ain't my style. Sing the time, staring out the window of the night route. They never ever understood for the most part. Hey, wonder how them niggas treated Mozart. Hey, did they try to put him on the Zoloft? Oh nah, I was penalized for being too alive. 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 I was.
Yesterday's price is not today's price, Ravens. What you thought you were going to have to pay him, you're going to have to pay him more.
Yo. I don't know what was up right there. My voice, I thought I was a little bit louder than I actually started off. It's kind of crazy. This show won't be, I don't know how long it's going to be, but I don't think it'll touch an hour tonight, because I realized how I'm going to start breaking down more of these games. I'm not going to break down every game in the breakdown. The breakdowns will usually be 2 to 3 shows now, because I really want to talk more about certain teams, and I can't really cram all of them in at one time, especially when I'm doing all the research and stuff myself right now. When I get a bigger team, obviously, it'll be a little bit different. But for right now, I think I'm going to try to stretch these to 2 to 3 shows. Now, if it's not worthy of being that long, if I can talk about the teams that I want to talk about in a timely fashion, then cool, we good on that. But if I can't, I'm going to try to make it 2-3 shows. I'm starting tonight's show off by saying this. This dude Kanye is a bitch. I done felt that way for a very long time. I think it's very crazy that the dude that said on TV George Bush doesn't care about black people has done every single thing and everything in his power to prove that he doesn't care about black people. I find it wild that people worship this dude. I find it wild that when he was going through that shit with Kim Kardashian and Pete, people celebrated him bullying Pete because of his shortcomings as a husband and as a significant other. So he took it out on Pete, and people were celebrating that. I thought that shit was weird behavior. The shit Pete did was weird also. But I'm not finna sit here and act like he wasn't being antagonized by Kanye. I think this dude is allowed to act like a child. Worse than children act at times. And people continuously say, oh, his mental health, oh, his mom died. I've never seen people get these type of excuses so frequently for doing so many ignorant things and saying so many ignorant things. This man has shown you multiple times that the only person he really truly give a damn about is Kanye. Kanye care about Kanye. When Kanye go to war with these industries and things like that, it's for Kanye, but he try to paint it as they doing such wrong to us. The man said he wanted to become a fashion icon to make affordable clothing for people. Kanye don't make affordable clothing for the average human being. So he's a hypocrite, he's a liar, he's a coon. He's all those things that's bad in people, yet people still celebrate this man. I do not get it. The dick eating that people have for Kanye is on a level, it's generational dick eating, to be completely honest with you, because I've never seen this type of dick eating in my life. It makes no sense. I've never seen people have somebody basically sell you shit, and then after you buy it from him, he tell you, and I don't fucking like you. Black people consume a lot of the things and pay for a lot of the things Kanye make. I don't buy any Kanye. I've never bought Kanye clothing in my life, and I'm happy about that. But they the ones who buy up his clothing, and he turn right around every chance he get and disrespect black people. And I don't get it. Nobody seem to hold this motherfucker accountable. People want to counsel everybody in the world, but they don't want to counsel an actual piece of shit like Kanye. It makes no sense to me, to be completely honest with you. I think this dude is a walking piece of shit, much like I think Antonio Brown is a walking piece of shit. Him posting that shit about Tom Brady's wife is piece of shit activity. And while I don't like what he did, Tom Brady got to take that bullet, because this is what happened when you throw lifelines to pieces of shit like AB. This is just the type of thing you got to expect to happen at some point in time. And I even understand if Tom say, nah, I couldn't expect this to happen. Well, when you're dealing with an erratic piece of shit human being like AB, this is the type of shit that happen. Kanye is also a human being, a legitimate, true piece of trash human being. And people celebrate this dude. People listen to his music. I wish people knew how to separate the music from the human being. I wish they did. I wish you knew how good the music was and still acknowledge how trash of a human being this is. Because if people could find the way people had this energy for Tory Lanez, I don't understand how this same energy is not being given to Kanye West. Because I love Tory Lanez music. I ain't not one time sat down to argue that Tory Lanez was a good human being. Kanye West, people continuously make excuses for this piece of shit, and he continue to do piece of shit things. Tonight he wears a shirt that says White Lives Matter. This dude is a legitimate piece of shit. And as soon as everything start falling and not going his way, he gonna try to walk that comment back like he did when he said slavery was a choice. This man is an actual piece of shit. An actual piece of human shit. And people still listen to his music. People still celebrate him. This man is an actual piece of shit. And what really pissed me off is I tweeted something the other day in a reference to a Kanye song, because I was like, Kanye said in a song that haters marry hater bitches and have hater kids. And that shit got like 3,000 plus likes, and I ended up pinning it. I'm unpinning that shit from my thing, bro. I don't give a fuck about how many likes it got. I'm dead ass with you, bro, because I do not like this motherfucker, bro. I do not like this motherfucker. I do not like what he stand for. I don't like what he represent. I don't like the things that he vocalize. And I'm all for free speech. You can say whatever the fuck you want to. Say whatever the fuck you want to, and I'm going to be able to react the exact way I want to, as long as I ain't physical. That man is a legitimate piece of shit. And then what really bothered me is a young black audience of people who gonna consume this and just think it's funny. They're not gonna take it serious. They continue to give Kanye excuses just like they do for AB. I don't get it. And people trot these motherfuckers all over the internet thinking it's funny and shit. These dudes is clowns, man. Absolute fucking clowns. But with that being said, let's run over these games real quick, man. So, week 4 of the NFL season, the Bills went to Baltimore, and they gave the Baltimore Ravens their 5th consecutive home loss in Baltimore. They win 23-20 in a comeback win. Tennessee heads to Indy, and they pick up their win of the season to get to 500. They don't score in the second half of that game, but they still end up winning 24-17 in Indy. New England headed to Green Bay, and in a close game in overtime, they lose it 24-27. They had a pick 6 on Aaron Rodgers in that game. Washington lost 10-25 in Dallas. Cooper Rush will pick up I think his 4th win as a starter. That division looking very competitive, because the Giants won, the Eagles won, Dallas won. I think the Eagles are the best team in that division, but Dallas, to me, got the best defense in that division. And once again, a phenomenal day by Dallas's defense. And I'm going to talk about Trayvon Diggs, because Trayvon Diggs is him, and I'm sick and tired of motherfuckers clowning this man as if, and it's not even true. People clown this dude because they think it's funny, that it's cool or something. I saw somebody today or yesterday say that somebody was celebrating Trayvon Diggs, and they was like, yo, he shouldn't be rated this high because he gave up 240 yards today, and he averaged 150 yards given up on a daily basis. On a game-to-game basis. I'm like, yo, that is a fucking lie, for one. 2, bro, why do you think it's cool to not only lie like this, but to be this type of hater? Why would you even go out of your way to be this type of hater? But that's neither here nor there. Dallas ended up winning that game 25-10 at home. Seattle heads on the road to take on Detroit. Detroit with the number 1 scoring offense in the league. They put up 45 points on them boys. But they also had the worst defense in the league, so they gave up 48 points, and Seattle ended up winning that game. Kansas City headed to I'm actually not getting to that game yet. Chicago headed to New York to take on the Giants, and in 2 back-to-back weeks, Justin Fields does not throw a touchdown. 12-20 is how that game would end. Daniel Jones didn't look good in that game either. I don't even think he threw for 100 yards in this game, but he did score 2 times on the ground. Saquon had a decent game. Daniel Jones ended up hurting his foot or his ankle, so we'll see how that goes. But I do not think Justin Fields is a starting NFL quarterback. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Arizona headed to Carolina to take on Baker Mayfield and the Carolina Panthers, a battle between 2 Oklahoma quarterbacks, former Oklahoma quarterbacks. And Marquise Brown caught passes from both these motherfuckers at one point in time. Shannon Sharp said these boys is closer than you think. I think that's a funny tweet, but however, it ain't really as close as you think. Kyler Murray is actually pretty good at running around. Baker Mayfield, or midfield as I should say, is not good at anything. And the man had about 20,000 balls batted at the line of scrimmage this game. 2 interceptions in this game. I tried to tell y'all what Baker Mayfield was before the season started. I'm not going to really go too deep into Baker Mayfield on this video because I made a video for that earlier today. But the Panthers ended up losing that game 26-16. The Rams, I'm going to get to that one in a second. The Cleveland, I was finna say Cavaliers. The Cleveland Browns headed to Atlanta. I don't know why I picked Cleveland to win this game, but they almost did win this game, but they didn't. They lose 20-23 in this game. The Chargers head to Houston. At one point in time, the Chargers let this team come back when they was up big in this team, but they ended up finishing it off 34-24. The New York Jets headed to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I said Pittsburgh would find a way to win this because this offense, even though as horrid as this offense was, I just did not realize how absolutely horrid this offense was. So, with that being said, the Jets put up 24 points, and they end up beating the Steelers, who only could put up 20. Mitchell Trubisky was benched in this game for Kenny Pickett. A report was released today that Kenny Pickett is more than likely about to become the starter for this team. Kenny Pickett threw 3 interceptions in that game. But nonetheless, he will end up being the starter. So, good luck to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Will Mike Tomlin have his first losing season? Find out next time. The Jacksonville Jaguars head into Philadelphia. It will be Doug Peterson taking on his former football team that he coached to a Super Bowl. He got a statue outside the stadium, they say. He would take on the Philadelphia Eagles. And at first you thought it was going to be all sweet. They take a 14-0 lead. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they built different this year. Jalen Hurts, the best quarterback in that division, he built different this year. He put the team on his back along with everybody else. Miles Sanders had a good game. A.J. Brown had a good game. And they come back to win this game. Trevor Lawrence, I like. Trevor Lawrence also had 4 fumbles in this game and an interception. That's 5 turnovers for one man in one game. That is a lot. Got to figure that one out, Trev. The Denver Broncos battled against the Las Vegas Raiders in a divisional game. Neither team. Now, see, this was a funny game because Denver's offense did not look good coming into this game. Vegas' offense looked good coming into this game, but they were not. They had yet to win a game this year. So would they stay winless like the Houston Texans? No, they would not. It would look like a competitive game to start, but they would end up winning this game 23-32 because the Denver Broncos are broken. Offensively, the defense looks fine. The Rams on Monday Night Football tonight, they took on the 49ers. And the 49ers got them again. They win 24-9. Matthew Stafford looked atrocious. We'll talk about it. And KC, Tampa Bay had the Sunday Night Football game. KC, Pat Mahomes, Pat McGoat, looked like an absolute star. He was able to take down the GOAT and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 41-31. And that was your games from week 4. We ran through that shit. I want y'all to know I didn't even rehearse the rundown of those games. I didn't know that I was going to mention small things from each game that I went through. Like, that just randomly popped up in my head. Like, that just, it's like when I have to do like a public speaking type of thing. Like, anytime I had to do public speaking, I really don't plan what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do. The only thing I usually plan is what I'm going to say to start off, and then I just let it roll from there. That's kind of how my brain works. dead ass. But, I think that turned out pretty good right there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't hating on it. I mean, obviously we can do a little better here and there, breath control, things like that. But, I don't think it was, I thought it was, whatever. Let's get to Justin Fields. So, Justin Fields against the New York Giants. Listen, this I don't think, obviously I didn't think that Daniel Jones is a great quarterback. But, I guess Brian Daboll he got the team sitting at, 3-1? And I said I like Brian Daboll for the Giants head coach. Now, how they got to hiring him and that whole process, I'm not going to speak on right now, but I do like Brian Daboll. I thought he was a good decision for the New York Giants. To me, sometimes it's just certain candidates that's so very clearly going to be at least decent head coaches. Like, I think Eric Bieniemy is going to be a decent head coach, at the least. So why he hasn't been given an opportunity yet, to me, is insane. But I also think Brian Daboll can only do so much with Saquon. He's figuring out ways to get the most out of Saquon again. But when it comes to Daniel Jones, it's just so much he can do with Daniel Jones. And I think he know that, and he's going to eventually try to get a quarterback. He's going to have to try to trade for one, because if they end up with a good record, he ain't going to be he's not going to fall far enough down, up in the draft to be able to draft one. So that whole situation will be interesting. But I want to talk about Justin Fields, because looking at Justin Fields last year early, but then, he had a couple games where it's like, okay, he looked. I don't know if it's the coaches. I don't know if it's what's going on in the organization. I don't know, but it don't look like he's getting better. To me, too many times this offense look erratic. It don't look like they know what they want to do. They got a good running back, and they haven't built the offense around that, because I don't think Justin Fields complete enough passes. You can't dink and dunk your way through everything, and they got him dinking and dunking, and I don't even think that's really what he do good. I don't think Justin Fields is. So at this very moment, I don't think he is a NFL starting quarterback, like ready to be an NFL starting quarterback, and I don't know if you could get him to that point, but I know if you did, it would take a little bit longer than it take the average quarterback. But just based off of what I'm seeing from him, I don't think his arm is really that special. He got a good his arm, not bad, but I wouldn't say it's special. I don't think his decision making is there. I really don't think he is good at reading defenses. See, that's one of the things. This is one of the reasons I don't like college football, because too many times I'm seeing quarterbacks come into the NFL who cannot break down a defense properly. And Patrick Mahomes even said he couldn't break down. You could clearly watch Patrick Mahomes, and because of his talent, you could be confused and think that he could break down the defense. But he clearly was better at breaking them down than he probably wasn't as great as he wanted to be, but he was better than some of the dudes that's coming in. Lamar Jackson, even though he wasn't as great at breaking down the defense and he would use his legs early, you could clearly see he was whoever was coaching him had to teach him about film study or something, because he was even better breaking down defenses. Some of these quarterbacks that's coming into the NFL right now make no sense to me. They really do not break down defenses good at all. Daniel Jones, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, Carson Wentz. And the Carson Wentz thing is crazy to me, because I didn't even realize how bad Carson was at reading defenses and understanding what he was seeing, because he had that one season. And I don't even think Carson is as bad as these other dudes is, but he clearly is not as consistent at breaking down defenses efficiently. But there's so many dudes coming into the NFL who I don't think break down. And if they could understand what they were seeing defensively, I think that would help a lot of these quarterbacks. But to compound on top of the issue of them already not really understanding what they're seeing from a defense, they are being asked to throw the ball short and shit like that. So now they still not really having to read the defense and complexities of a defense, because now you just asking them, because you can't read it anyways, now we're going to simplify it even more and have you just throwing check downs and things of that nature. And because of that, I think that's making it even worse for these quarterbacks, because from what I'm seeing from just when you trying to dial up and that's why I think that sometimes when they dial up these shots that they take here and there, they look so bad sometimes because they throwing so many dink and dunks and they not really reading defenses. When they take that shot, it's not because they know what the defense is running. It's because they already plan that we're taking this shot. So just from what I'm seeing, I don't know who coaching Justin Fields, like who coaching him up behind the scenes and things of that nature. But I just from what I'm seeing on the field right now from him, I don't think Justin Fields is a starting NFL quarterback. I don't really want to sound harsh, but yeah, just right now I just don't see it. I want to talk about Pittsburgh next because since we was talking about Chicago, let's talk about the dude who used to play for Chicago, Mitchell Trubisky. So I'm not shocked that Mitchell Trubisky was benched this early. I thought that Mitchell Trubisky was a bad quarterback. I didn't think he was good. People kept blaming everything on Matt Nagy and everything like that. While I don't think Matt Nagy was a good head coach either, I also understand I know how to look at a game and understand that a coach is bad and the quarterback is also bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to, just because the quarterback bad don't have to mean the coach wasn't. And just because the coach bad don't have to mean the quarterback wasn't. Like, they can both be bad. Like, that is very much in play in some situations. And so in this situation, I don't believe that Matt Nagy was a good head coach, but I also never thought that Mitchell Trubisky was a good quarterback. Point blank period. And I understand Pittsburgh taking that opportunity on him, taking that chance on him because of the culture there, the head coach and things of that nature. But Pittsburgh is going to have to try to get a quarterback. It is what it is. They should have been trying to get one when they had Big Ben in the end of his career, when he was checking everything down because he could no longer throw the ball, but for so long. That's what they should have been trying to do. Kenny Pickett ain't the answer either, I don't think. I think they'll rock with him for this year, probably next year. But if he continued to turn the ball over at the rate that he did in that first game, like first pass being an interception is crazy, but ending the game with 3 interceptions, I understand you scored twice, but if Kenny Pickett turned into, because I'm realizing that Trevor Lawrence is a turnover machine right now, and that's one of the things that's killed Baker. Baker is all the things you don't want in a quarterback, but he also turned the ball over a lot. Like, he don't really read defenses good. Not really. He don't read defenses good, and he turned the ball over a lot. And one of the things that quarterbacks who don't read defenses good do is turn the ball over a lot. Just plain and simple. And Trevor Lawrence turned the ball over a lot for a dude who I think is actually a decent reader of defenses. But I wouldn't say he really that great at reading defenses right now either. But that's something that you can grow and learn because Jalen Hurts done got better at it. Jalen Hurts. But see, one of the things that I like about Jalen Hurts, and one of the reasons I was defending Jalen Hurts last year, was because even though I knew Jalen Hurts couldn't read a defense the way you would want your quarterback to be able to read it eventually, even though I know that's something that you can grow into, I could tell that he could read it to a point where he knew that if they was on his first option and whatnot, he knew to take the fuck off. And that could get him to so far because he knew I'm not the greatest at getting to multiple reads, but my first option, and even if sometimes my second option isn't there when I make that read, I'm taking off. And that saved him to the point where now he can get to this point where he can sit through reads, just like Lamar Jackson got to the point he at. Like, every quarterback not going to be great in the beginning at making reads, but when you have a tool that you can use to save you when you can't make all the reasons that's necessary, this is the type of things that keep turnovers down. Because Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts aren't turnover prone players. Trevor Lawrence has been a turnover machine in his first 2 years. Baker Mayfield, turnover machine. Now listen, being a turnover machine ain't always just equated to being able to read a defense. Now, Jameis Winston, I don't think read defense is good either. And he turned the ball over a lot, but you can make an argument that he just was a turnover machine. You know what I'm saying? Either way. But Kenny Pickett, I don't really, like, I haven't seen Kenny Pickett in college. I never watched him a single game of Kenny Pickett's in college. I watched him in the preseason a little bit. I told y'all I don't watch preseason games, and I'm dead ass serious. I don't watch preseason games. I watch the highlights, and then I'll do research and, like, deeper looks. Like, I might go back and watch all of Kenny Pickett's plays throughout that game and the situations he was in, like key situations he was in. I'm not sitting down watching a full fucking preseason game. It's just not going to happen. But I would sit down and watch a full preseason game before I sat down and watch a college football game. So I tell you that. I think preseason games could be better if it was had more energy around them. My thing is, it's hard to watch games where the energy around the game is very low. You don't have the professional people who in the booths all the time that make the games better. Like, Monday Night Football is better because of Troy and damn, what's buddy's name? Troy Aikman and whoever the fuck his partner is, Joe Buck. Troy and Joe, to me, amplify, like, they make the product better. And I talked about how I like Troy and Joe last year, but to me, they don't really do that in the preseason. The preseason just don't never really feel like it's big time. I feel like if they wanted to make the NFL preseason a little better, you don't have to play the starters. I'm never going to suggest that, but you could like have it at different like fields and shit. I think that'll be a little bit lit, but who knows, bro? I'm not trying to advocate to make the preseason better, bro. Like, I'll probably still not watch it. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to talk about next. But hey, I don't know how good Kenny Pickett will be, but I don't think he the answer right now either. But we'll see. I want to talk about Green Bay next. So very interesting, Aaron Rodgers in this offense next couple weeks. So, you know, what I think is interesting about Aaron Rodgers in this offense is I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is showing his age. I don't know about none of that. He's going to definitely walk away with more interceptions this year probably than he'll walk away with in the last 3 years combined. But he's going to end the season, I think, with close to 10 interceptions, if not 10 or more interceptions this season. And one of the reasons I think that'll happen is because the fact of the matter is he don't have a receiver on his team that the defense fears. And as great as Aaron Rodgers is, and he is great, a thrower of the football, if you don't fear anybody on the defense, bro, that's how the cornerback for New England walk away with the best graded cornerback of the week. I cannot remember his name at the moment. That's because you don't fear anybody on Green Bay's offense. It's no receiver on that offense that you say, yeah, we got to pay close attention to him. We got to double him. And that should make it even more so for Lazard and all these other dudes to win matchups. But the fact of the matter is they haven't shown that they can win those matchups consistently. And that's why these games become so long. They become so hard. Pause. And that's why you go into overtime against a backup quarterback because Brian Hoyer got hurt and they had to put in a third string quarterback, Zappy. And so that's how games turn into these type of things when for a team like the Packers, who still have a good defense, but the offense right now, and it's really been 2 years of the offense being, tough. And they got a good running game with two good running backs. So I think they got to figure out a way. And this is what's so interesting to me, because right now, I believe Sean McVay would be doing more with the Packers than LaFleur, at least with this offense, because Sean McVay need those running backs. Why the Rams haven't tried to trade for A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones yet is beyond me, because they need one of those running backs. One of those running backs would take his offense to another level. Those are one of the running backs he's been searching for since he lost Todd Gurley. But I think because Sean McVay is so run-based heavy in his offensive approach, he would be doing more with the Packers right now. Matt LaFleur is more pass-heavy in his offensive approach. That's why Devontae Adams was such a gem for him to have along with Aaron Rodgers. And while he have two running backs, those are like last resort, second option type of things, because he really want to throw that ball with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae, but he don't have Devontae now. And the receivers that he have are nowhere near as good as you would want them to be. Even the young dude who growing. And so with that, I think his offense can look stagnant at times, because while, yeah, you could say, oh, he got running backs, he should be running. But that's not really what Matt LaFleur want to do. So another coach who I think would look better in this type of offense, with this type of what they have on Green Bay's offense right now, is Kevin Stefanski. You give Kevin Stefanski those two running backs and Aaron Rodgers, he's going to probably pop out 12 wins in that season. He don't need an all-star receiver. because the way he's going to run his offense, he's going to get the majority of those receivers and tight ends wide the fuck open. Aaron is not going to have to worry about them dropping passes and shit like that, because they'll get multiple opportunities to drop those passes, because they're going to get multiple wide open opportunities the way Kevin Stefanski is going to run this offense. And so I don't actually think that the Packers, I don't think this is a Super Bowl team because of the head coach. And it's crazy to say that because I like Matt LaFleur, but I just think it's two other head coaches. And this could even be more than that. But just specifically right now, I think Kevin Stefanski would absolutely murk this team right here. Like, Kevin Stefanski would coach this team to damn near a Super Bowl. Like, this would be an ideal situation for Kevin Stefanski. A great defense, a great quarterback, a great run game, decent receivers. He could murk this situation. Like, this is exactly what Kevin Stefanski is trying to build in Cleveland right now. I'm telling you, like, this. That's why I think the Browns did the right thing by going. I don't agree with shit Deshaun Watson, the human being, did. But Deshaun Watson, if he is still the same player he was before he stopped playing, what they did was smart, because Kevin Stefanski would absolutely get them more out of this Green Bay offense right now than I think what LaFleur is getting out of them. So, very interesting what's going on in Green Bay right now. They still end up winning that game. So, at the end of the day, Seattle and Detroit. Listen, bro, they had Geno. I saw people tweeting, they got Geno out here looking like Lamar Jackson, bro. What the fuck? Like, it's funny to me that Arizona. It's funny to me that Detroit's defense is right now, like, because I saw somebody tweet, if Detroit's defense was just bad, they would be undefeated right now. And I was like, yeah, that's just not true. If their defense was just bad and not the worst, then their offense would be the worst. Like, you don't get, it's for Detroit, bro, it's just how it works, okay? That's just how it works. And I like what I'm seeing from Detroit's offense also. Like, I'm shocked that I'm not really shocked, because Jared Goff in a good system can be a decent quarterback for you. And it's no way that Baker Mayfield is Jared Goff 2.0. Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield. And I said that when I kept calling him Jared Goff 2.0. But he definitely ain't Jared Goff 2.0, because Jared Goff is far and away a better quarterback than Baker Mayfield midfield. And I always thought he was a better quarterback. But now Jared Goff is far and away a better quarterback, because when you put everything around Jared Goff and everything go right, Jared Goff can be an absolute fucking stud. Jared Goff can play far above what he actually is. Baker Mayfield at no point in time ever plays above what he actually is. As a matter of fact, more times than not, he plays below what he even is on a regular basis. He bad regularly, but nowadays regularly he even badder than bad. Like, it's no two ways around it. I'm not calling him Jared Goff 2.0 no more, because at this point that's a disrespect to Jared Goff, who is a far and away better quarterback. But Detroit's offense being this good and their defense being this bad, like, just think about this for a second. Detroit got the number one offense in the NFL and the worst defense. Not like, it's not being funny. The absolute worst defense in the NFL and the best offense in the NFL. You really can't make this shit up for Detroit, yo. Like, I kind of feel bad for Detroit, because it's like, yo, what the fuck, bro? But with that being said, keep it up, Detroit. You headed in the right place. Wanna hop to Dallas real. Hold up. Okay, I wanna hop to Dallas real fast. Dallas's defense, bro. Like I said. Bless me. Thank you. Shout out Quinn Williams. Dallas's defense is unbelievable. But I want to talk about Cooper Rush for a quick second, because I don't really think Cooper Rush to me just had his best game, numbers wise. But as far as, like, because I've watched these Dallas games, he just managing the game real great, bro. Like, I don't really think he doing nothing special. I'm not mad at him for being able to manage the game. Like, this is exactly what I want my backup to be able to do. Make the throws that you need to make and just manage the game. I'm not asking you to go out there and be a superstar or nothing like that. I'm just asking you to go out there and manage the game, especially if everybody around you is doing their jobs. And that's exactly what Cooper Rush doing. I don't think he better than Dak. I don't think this should be a quarterback competition. But because Dallas has been such a bad organization over the last couple of years, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. I wouldn't be surprised if it did become a QB competition. I think that would be stupid, but you never know what Jerry Jones and them boys are going to do over there. I do think that this is how quarterbacks take other quarterbacks' positions, though. Like, let's say Cooper Rush start like 2-3 more games. And let's say he go 2-1 or 3-0 in those next 3 games. Well, now you actually do have to make a decision as a team. Like, man, we winning these games with Cooper Rush, because as soon as Dak come back and if he lose a game, it don't even matter if it had nothing to do with Dak. They going to be like, well, Cooper Rush, we was winning. Like, that's how you start to divide on a team. That, like, this could go very, very ugly for Dallas if they treat this situation like unprofessional, like an unprofessional organization, or like a bad organization would treat this situation. So I hope they don't do that, but you know, it is what it is. The last thing I'm going to talk about in this episode, because I want to keep these short, so we are going to do a second one and talk about some other teams, is the Tampa Bay and KC. Pat McGoat, man. But Pat McGoat, I'm telling you, bro, people be hating on this man for some reason. I don't understand why. Pat McGoat, maybe people just keep getting tired of him being so great, but Pat McGoat is the baby goat, bro. That's why I don't like it when I be hearing that Buddy Wilds on that show called what's his name? Mac Jones, the baby goat. Like, that's just ridiculous. Pat Mahomes is so very clearly the baby goat, bro, with Lamar and Josh Allen behind him. Like, this motherfucker. This is why I'm mad that I picked him to lose this game, but I didn't pick him to lose because of Pat. Like, you got to understand, it's hard for me to pick against Pat Mahomes. I love watching Pat Mahomes play football. I said it in my previous show. The Kansas City's offense is the most, we'll do whatever the fuck we want and try whatever the fuck we want because we have a great quarterback. And I love that about them. I love watching Pat Mahomes play. I did not think he was going to struggle without Tyreek. But I still do believe it would be he missed Tyreek. It would be so much easier for him to do everything he do. Could you imagine what they would have done last night if they had Tyreek? Like, come on now. And I agree. What they did to the defense of Tampa Bay was great, because Tampa's defense came into this game ranked number 1. And they put up more points on Tampa Bay last night than the other teams did combined, I believe. However, that's the type of shit that happened with Pat McGoat. And I still believe he missed Tyreek. Not in the sense that he going to be worse because of Tyreek, but things get a little bit harder when you don't have that type of weapon on your team, because Tyreek is just special. And then last night was one of those games for Tom where he just, live throwing. He knew they was probably losing that game, but he threw to the very end. He was sinking with the ship. He looked good, man. I saw people tweeting like, oh, man, Tom Brady going to retire at halftime like Vontae Davis. Listen, the Falcons will play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next week for first place in the NFC North, bro. In the NFC South, bro. Think about that. The Falcons. You really can't make this shit up, man. But with that being said, I appreciate y'all for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with him. Tell somebody you love him. Fuck Kanye. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, you know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber, you out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.